Good afternoon. Can anybody hear me?
Hello.
All right, thank you. All right. All right, folks, it's 12:30. We'll get started. So the final here, you can see where you'll download the final, just like we would normally. Now, per the SPC schedule, the final starts at 1 p.m., not 12:30, but that's just the way the final schedule is set up, is to accommodate people who might have a final earlier than that. I don't know if anybody does, but that's the time that's put forth in the schedule. So 1 p.m. on Monday. So there's a couple of things here, a couple of things that will allow you to figure out what you're looking for on the final. You've got the notes here on the final, which tells you, well, pretty much in words, what's in the video here, which I'm not going to play because I know you can watch it yourself, but there's a video here of what to expect for the final. I'd strongly recommend that you watch that video and then look at the notes regarding the final. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, so this test starts at 1, so we'll only have an hour. It's still going to end at 2?
No. I've left access to the final for an hour. Okay. It's just in case anybody arrives late, although I'm really going to discourage people from turning up late, but I don't want to be harassed while I'm proctoring. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, but those people obviously will have less time to do what they need to do. But I know I'm leaving myself open for mischief, but that's there's nothing I can do about any of this. All right. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, you've got the notes regarding the final here, which pretty much go through everything that you can expect to see here. I've been pretty clear about what you're going to see. You take a read of this if you'd like. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll wait a little bit to see if anybody has any questions after I've read that.
I do have a question about question 7.
Okay.
On the practice final.
Yeah.
I looked at it and it looks like it's 2 questions combined.
Well, it's really one question, but it's an HNMR and an IR of the same compound.
Okay, so you're still just completing them as you would each question, but it's just looks different?
I'm not sure how to answer that. I mean, I'm not trying to be evasive here. All I can tell you is that it's for the same compound. The IR is not meant to be a hindrance, it's supposed to be a help. if you remember, then IR will only give you an idea about what kind of functional groups you're expecting to see. And then the proton NMR will actually give you a structure. Let me open up the sample final. I'll give you a little bit more clarity on that if I possibly can. All right. So you can see this one, it's given a molecular formula C3H8O, and you can see by looking at the IR, it's got an OH and it hasn't got a C double bond O. That's about all the information you can probably pick up from that. And then you go down here and you know that one H is definitely an OH. So I guess that's pretty much all it really does. Who was asking me that? Was it you, Keisha? Or was it somebody else?
Yes, that was me.
Okay. Does anybody have any other questions about that? Okay. Any other questions about the final? Does anybody have any questions about their grade at this point? Sometimes people get confused about what their current grade is based on. It's based on your lowest test score. Most of you have had me for something before, so you already know the story, but some of you might not.
So we take the final, if we don't already have like A's and B's. I looked over the syllabus, but you average them together, correct?
You mean after the final? Yes.
Yes.
But the final also gets included. It's a best of it's 5. It's average of 5 test scores at that point.
Yes, instead of the 4.
Right. Along with
Gotcha.
the final, replacing a lower test grade as long as it's higher than one of your lower test grades. Otherwise, it just gets averaged in.
Okay, I gotcha. So the in the grade book it says test as of test 4.
Grade as of test 4.
Says
Yeah.
grade needed to get on final. So that's like the grade we'd need to get on final for A, B, C, like it tells us in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify. Thank you very much.
Right. And that's a calculation, and it takes into account both scenarios, whether you need something less than what you currently have from test 1 to 4, or if it's going to replace. So, you know, it's actually a true score of what you actually need to get on the final.
Correct. Thank you.
To get an A or a B or a C. Anybody got any other questions? I mean, I can be more specific about that if anybody needs questions about how to interpret the grade book here at this point. I think it's pretty transparent, but if anybody has any questions. Okay, and what about the final? Does anybody have any other questions about the final?
Are we going to be going over some of the problems today in the example you gave?
Well, maybe not that. I mean, I could if you wanted to. That does have an answer key to it as well. You know, that sample final I showed you, but it is more a formatting. It's more a guide to formatting than it is to difficulty. The final will be about as difficult, I'd say, as any of the tests you took.
I didn't do too well on the NMR ones on the test we just took. So I was like, ooh, if we could go over that later, if there's time, that would be great.
Okay. Yeah, we can go over anything on test 4. Oops, there's a chat thing here. What time? Yeah, 1 p.m. Monday, Elise. You'll have 1 hour and 50 minutes to take it. 1 hour, 50 minutes. There we go. Any other general questions about the final? We'll go over, who was asking me? Was that you, Sierra?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay. I'll go over those NMR questions on test 4 in a little bit. Does anybody have any other questions just generally about the structure of the final or anything else? I haven't said this in an email or anything, but I don't expect you won't get any feedback for the final. You won't get. I'm not going to, because when I do the final normally, what I do is people never see it again. That's it. It's done. But what I will say is that if anybody wants me to go over it, then it'll be via a personal Zoom session. So I'll be happy to go over anything anybody has via Zoom. Otherwise, what you should be expecting is just a grade, expecting just to see a grade. That'll save me a lot of time in grading it as well. Make sure that you get your grade as quickly as possible.
Dr. Musgrave?
Yeah.
You said the exam starts at 1 p.m., but do we have the same procedure, like 10 minutes before it opens, or how do we do that?
Well, I've set it up to open at 1.
Open at 1, okay.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because that's the time that's set up for the thing. Well, okay, well, all right. Well, I will make it 12:50. All right.
Yeah, because I feel like it puts so much additional stress to print out the whole thing.
All right. 12:50. Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay. See, I even updated it right now. See that?
We appreciate it.
Okay.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
All right. So the 2 p.m. ending there is the access. Is just what people will be allowed, when people will be allowed to access it. Yeah, I have to release a certain amount of control. I know that people can do mischief, but there's nothing I can do about it.
How long do we have to take the test?
1 hour, 50 minutes, 1 hour, 50 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
So it'll be, let's see, when's the Dropbox? Actually, I haven't put a thing on the Dropbox. And yeah. So it'll finish, see, 2:50 p.m., right? I'll make it 3. That gives you time to take pictures and whatever and upload it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
I mean, if you play your cards right, you can have upwards of probably another 15 minutes, to play with. But, please don't. There were a few people who were slack on test 4. There might be some real consequences if people do the same thing on the final. I'll be pretty annoyed if people aren't watching the time, or they say, oh, well, look, I mean, I was there at the time it finished and then it closed or whatever. It's just it's not very good as far as I'm concerned. Make that visible as well. There we go. Yes, that would have been annoying. All right. Any other questions? About the final? Make sure you watch the video. The video is pretty transparent. Tells you pretty much exactly what you're going to see. Goes through, explains all the different kinds of questions and and everything else. It's really just a video summary of what you're seeing in the notes though. Excuse me, any other questions? All right, Sierra. Well, I'll go over that. I'll go over that video. Sorry, not video. Go over those NMR questions. Now, I checked out the file for the final. I made it a PDF. It should print out fine. I know there was an issue with test 4. I don't know what was going on with that, but it was kind of annoying. All right. So C11H14O2. And if it was saturated, C11H24, 24 minus 14 over 2 equals 5, double bond equivalence. And just going through and doing what we would usually do here. So C6H5, that's going to be this 5H business up here, the aromatic ring. Then you've got a CH, and you've got a CH2, a CH3, and another CH3. And if we see what's left over, we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's one C, there's 2 O's, and one O and another O. And then this is 4 double bond equivalents on the ring. This is 5. So there's 1 double bond equivalent left over, which I'm going to say is a C double bond O. So it's a very common thing that we'll see here. And it's a matter of putting all that together. And I think in some cases, some people didn't realize how many join points these things can have. I think that's something that a lot of people need to work on. So CH is going to have 3 join points. CH2 will have 2 join points. CH3 will have 1 join point. And we need to put it together. I focus, first of all, on the 4 ppm. That's the CH. And that's going to be connected to an oxygen. And then you can see that this CH, so I'll put a check mark on that so I know I've used it. And this CH has 4 peaks, which means it's next to a CH3 and only a CH3. So whatever it's connected to here can't have any hydrogens on it. So the rest of it, so that the only thing that can really be then is the aromatic ring connected there. Which means that the rest of it is going to be a C double bond O, then a CH2 connected to the CH3. And again, this CH2, because it's next to a CH3, has 4 peaks. That's this one here. And the CH3 next to it will have 3 peaks because it's next to a CH2.
So on the test, what I did, I had like all of that out. It was just like putting it together, and maybe I came up with the wrong molecules. I don't know, but I had a CH2, a CH2, and then 2 CH3s, and then a double bond O.
Well, it just wouldn't fit, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't fitting, and I couldn't figure out because like I was trying to put it. Oh, and I had a CH, and I was trying to put the double bond O on the CH, but then I had too many bonds on it, and I just like couldn't figure out how to fit it together. So I don't know if I was missing something or what the heck I did, because I understand it when we do it, and then I went to do it, and I'm like, what the heck, like.
Well, I think a big part of it is putting those check marks on and removing what you've already figured out, so you know exactly what else you have to fit into the structure. But the other thing is, I graded it hard because it's either right or wrong. You know, if it's not put together properly, it's wrong, and because the NMR tells you exactly how to put it together.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can tell you about this one?
No.
I want you to understand that there's no way the CH2 could be connected to the CH, because that would mean the CH then would have more than 4 peaks.
Yeah.
It would mean it would have 6. So that's how I know that the aromatic ring had to be connected to the CH.
Doesn't there need to be a 4th bond on it though? Or is it just going to have a hydrogen hanging out? Oh, there is 4 on it. Never
Yes,
mind.
yeah. That's why I put 3 join points on the CH. That was a mistake I saw some people make too. They tried to put too many bonds on that or something like that.
Yeah. That's what I did, but I was like, I don't know any other way, because I seriously sat there for a good like 15 minutes staring at the dang thing, trying to figure out like where to put them at. But yeah, thank you so much for going over it again.
Dr. Musgrave,
Yeah.
did you also say there is only one way to make this work? Like only one way, right? So it's right or wrong. There's not a second variation of how we can build this structure.
Not really. Not that I can. Well, no, not really, because you see, the thing is, if you took the C double bond O and stuck it over, hang on. If you put the double bond C double bond O over here, then the O would be connected to the CH2 CH3, and that would mean that the CH2 here would be also around 4 ppm, which it isn't.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, if somebody switched these around, Victoria, I took off just 3 points because everything else was okay as far as the way it was built. If these two were switched around.
Yeah, I see.
All right. Any other questions about this one?
This is random, but which practice test is it? What year?
This one? This is the last one we did.
This is the last test that we did?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. Okay, then I definitely did it wrong because I didn't have an aromatic ring in that. I'm like, where to get
No. Well, this is question 4. Question 5 doesn't have an aromatic ring. You might be
Okay.
looking at the wrong question.
I don't know. I skipped one of them. I didn't know which one.
Oh, okay. All
I might
right.
have skipped that one.
All right. Okay.
This was the one that I had the C double bondo and I couldn't figure out where to put it at because
Well,
I
this-
had like all of those.
Well, this one doesn't have a C double bond O, because when you do the double bond equivalence, it would just be C6H14, which is what it would be if it was saturated anyway. So it's 14 minus 14 divided by 2, which is 0.
Oh, because I did the 14 minus 6 and then I divided it by 2 and then I had like 4 double bond equivalents and I was like, oh, okay.
Now, it shows you how to do this, though. There's an example here at the bottom. Well, obviously this is SkeWF, but you've got it on yours.
Yeah, I looked at it. I guess I just did it wrong. I don't know. It was the pressure.
The pressure. All right. Any, is that okay so far?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you were looking to put a C double bond O somewhere, then you were in trouble from the outset. Okay. So we've got CH, we've got CH2, we've got CH2, we've got CH3, CH3, and CH3. So all that's really left is an O. Everything else is taken into account, I think. See, 1, 2, 3, yeah. Everything is taken into account, so just an O. not a 0 or an O. I would start off with the O and look what's connected to it. There's a CH and a CH2 because they're both at 4 ppm or roundabouts. And that takes those into account then. Now the CH2 has 4 peaks. It must be next to a CH3. So it's going to be one of these that has 3 peaks. And it doesn't really matter which one you choose as long as you get rid of it. So I'll take that one. Now as for the CH, there's actually 6 peaks, which means it's adjacent to 5, which means it's between a CH2 and a CH3. And then the other CH2 is connected to the other CH3, and that's it. So really this one wasn't too bad, I didn't think. A lot of people got it right.
I didn't.
But again, the main errors I saw where people did make errors was not realizing the CH had 3 bonds and CH2 had 2 bonds. I did see some things where CH3s were put where the CH was, and it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I was trying to do the oxygen as a double bond, not a single bond. And that's where I was having the hard time, because I'm trying to see like how do you know which ones they're connected to? Because I'm looking at the sheet. I can't really figure it out.
Well, okay, so for the CH here, you look at the number of peaks and you can see there's 6 peaks. So you know that that's 5 adjacent hydrogens. And if you look at that sheet, which I can't show you here, but it has CHX and it's between a CH2 and a CH3 if it's got 6 peaks. I mean, it's right there on the sheet. Do you see that?
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, it's in part C multiplicity. And you look at 6 peaks.
Oh, okay.
And that's how you know. I mean, it's right there. I mean, I don't even make you memorize that.
Yeah.
But my advice would be to go back and practice those exercises I have in the Proton NMR exercises folder in test 4. Did you look at that?
Yeah, I'll do them again. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any other questions that they want me to go through at all? Of anything?
I just have a question. Will the NMR problems look like they did on this test, or the ones that are in the blue book?
Well, they'll look more like the ones on the tests. You mean as far as appearance goes?
Yeah.
But they'll look like these.
It's easier to count the peaks on those.
I know.
Okay.
I know. And that's why I do it that way.
Okay, thank you.
I never want anybody to be in doubt about how many peaks there are, because the whole point is just being able to put the structure together. That's really the emphasis, not on being able to guess how many peaks. It'll be pretty clear, Brianna.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Is there a way you could go over the number 7, the roadmap, or not even a roadmap, but the number 7 question?
Yeah, for this one?
Yes, for the same test.
Okay.
Say I ran out of time and I barely even got to attempt it, so I'm just generally confused on it personally.
Okay. So the 3 alkenes that you get from this. Now, this is going to be A, B, and C, but when you begin the problem, you don't know which is A, which is B, which is C. To come up with the alkenes, you take the OH off, and then you can draw a double bond out to the 3 Cs that are around it. So that's the first thing. The next thing you would do is figure out what these look like once you treat them with ozone. And you do that. To do that, you just split them apart by splitting the double bond and putting a double bond O on each side of the double bond. And you'll notice that when the double bond is outside of the ring, you get two products. So you can already see what one of the things is once you do that. Okay, so this would definitely be C because it leads, that's the only one that leads to two products. And if you look at B, B would have to be this, because if you take this, got the arrow on, and you stretch it out, it's that. And it's not, definitely not that one. And this makes this A. Then after that, you apply the other bits to it. And E would be this. And then D would be that. So is that okay? Does anybody have any questions about that?
Yeah, that's fine. I was just trying to, because I was able to draw like the products, but I didn't have time to go further than that. So I just wanted to make sure I understood how to actually complete the question.
Okay. Did you spend a lot of time doing mechanisms on question 1?
Yeah, personally, I mean, I personally did not do a good job studying, so I did personally struggle on the mechanisms. That's why I spent so much time on it.
Okay. All right, does anybody have any other questions?
Dr. Musgrave,
Yeah.
on the video, the what to expect on the final, do you just go through the final like how you do our like normal notes for tests? Like,
Yeah, I'm pretty clear about, I go through the sample test and I kind of elaborate on what you can expect to see as part of each question.
okay, thank you.
But it matches, and it's really just used in combination with that text file that's above it. It's really just a video elaboration of the same thing. Any other questions at all about anything? Well, if nobody has anything else, then I'll leave it here for today. Does anybody have any other questions? Anything else? before I close it down. All right, well, we'll leave it there then. If anybody has any other questions, you can send me an email and set up a Zoom call or whatever. You got my phone number there as well. Call me if there's a hassle. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Musgrave.
Thank you.
Thank you
Alright.
so much.
No worries. I'll see you all later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.